Yeah, as far as like working on stuff, I guess I'm kind of working on a project. Um, the the mode of putting music out is drastically changed from what I'm accustomed to.
Yeah,
Um,
that is gospel.
and
What the kids say, facts.
I
Yeah,
had to do be
facts.
facts though.
Facts.
um, and I don't want to change how I, because I don't concept songs per se. I concept a project, and then
The
the
songs are like
songs
elements.
can
Are the
fill
project.
in. You know what I'm saying? I create the songs that fill that, but I create a project, and it's kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of how like when I was reading about how Dr. Dre works
Mm-hmm.
when he's really gonna put a project. It that's I was
It's
kind of,
conceptual even in nature in this organization.
and it kind of just fills in. And I was like, damn, yeah, that's how I have always done my work. Because I need a big picture. You know what I'm saying, to see at the end. Like, I don't think that Kendrick Lamar did "To Pimp a Butterfly" as a collection of songs.
Hmm.
I think he came to that
Hmm. Hmm.
with,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, the concept. You know what I'm saying, like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
You know, I feel you. So like what I'm working on with Hatterack, right? The 5/3. You know, our premise, right? We have a premise, right? And that is we are flipping the reciprocal of that 3/5 shit. You were 3/5 of a man, now we don't flip that. You know what I mean? So that is a guiding pulse, right? That is a guiding conceptual metronome, right, for the energy of what we do, right? But yeah, bro, that's kind of deep because I definitely didn't think of it in terms of. I will say this in the past, especially like working with like D Will, shout out D Will, you know, and there's always been a framework, you know, working with Jamel, working with Rockwell, right? You know, we did Artemis Direction. You know, the framework, the premise was let's take a bunch of old 60s, 70s, even some 50s, 80s, and let's make it hip hop, right? And it was good to have Ken Folk come over and he was like, you gonna rap over that? Here you go. You know what I mean? So yeah, these projects I'm working on now, bro, I pretty much just taking the canvas and I feel like in context of how you're describing it, I feel like I've just taken the canvas and just made squares or blocks, right? And this space of the canvas has this, and this space of the canvas has this, and this space of the canvas has this. And I'm not even sure it's even in collage fashion, bro. You know what I mean? It may be
I
like
understand
it may be like comic strip that don't even with no coherency.
it.
You know what I mean? Each square. That's kind of that's deep, bro. I feel you on that. That's
I mean, but I'm 46,
yeah.
so
And I mean,
growing up, there were there were singles, yes, but the singles came from albums
right,
after the albums
right,
came out, or the single came out first as a warm up for the album.
right.
You know what I'm saying? There was always an album involved, and some albums were just dope songs. Some albums were dope concepts. Some
Right.
albums were dope concepts with dope
With
songs.
songs, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you had a dope album with a dope concept with dope songs, you was on.
Hit the
You know what I'm
mark.
saying?
Hit the mark.
You hit the money.
Hit the mark. Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays,
It's been reduced to that disposable, consumable unit.
well, it's a
Word.
singles driven market.
That's what I'm saying. And so I feel like the consideration for the whole, but maybe.
But that's because it's a single driven market,
Hold
because
on.
the attention span
But
has
maybe.
definitely decreased.
Okay, hold on. But maybe, no argument there. But maybe it's the artist recognizing I can't give you all of that because you're not going to digest it, right? and that might be an underestimation of the market, right? I mean, real talk.
No,
you don't think there's a disconnect somewhere?
That's the industry pushing to sign as many people as they possibly can as tax write-offs.
Saturation.
And controlling and trying to make every dollar they possibly can.
Controlling the funnel. Yeah, controlling the funnel.
That's all that's about.
Because it used to be with exclusivity. Now it's saturation. So I'm with you.
Because everybody who's getting signed, or not everybody, but a majority of people get signed nowadays are getting 360 deals. When I was in discussions with labels, wasn't no 360 deals. No, y'all gonna get what y'all supposed to. Y'all gonna get this this part of the publishing, this part of this, and everything else we make on our own.
You know what's funny, man? I sit down with folks and I'll pull out my ASCAP cards. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. There's a business to music. You see, there's a publishing and then there's an artist, right? You know what I mean? Really getting folks to understand the nuances." And I think that's something you gotta have some consideration too when you're making your art, like separating yourself from the character, the moniker, right? Here's what this moniker is doing, but what are you doing with that moniker, right? I've been thinking about that with my art too, bro. Just on some real shit. Like, you don't stay the same. You know what I mean?
No, which is why I don't do a lot of things that I did 5 years ago. And if I were to do some of those things again, it would be for a completely and totally different reason, and in a completely and totally different mindset, which would mean a completely and totally different manner. And because of my current mindset, it really wouldn't matter, because it would only involve me and the select few people that I choose to work with. And if they don't want to work with me, cool, no hard feelings. But I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. That's gonna make me enough to hopefully sustain a living for the next 18 months, at least. You know what I'm saying? That's
what we was talking about earlier, right? I hate that Corvette Club circuit, bro.
Oh man, look.
I ain't never been to Mississippi, Alabama. Out of all the places I've been, I ain't never been to Mississippi, Alabama. Real talk.
Man, look. I'm going where the money is in a manner that I'm not gonna have to feel like I done sold myself or soiled myself, or I can't look at myself in the mirror to get it. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta go to Portland, Maine to go get this 2,500,
I'm going to Maine.
Guess where you gonna catch me from?
Northeast.
After everything clears up.
North Shore Harbor. You know what I mean? But that's not only the hustler. That's also the good businessman. Because again, I'm an artist, right? And you're telling me there's a space and a place where you appreciate their art. Let me give you that. Let's reciprocate, right? You have something to give me, I have something to give you. And I want to make it residual. Man, I want to come back.
So let's build. And that's really what I've been learning and focusing on for the past 3 years. Yeah. Is trying to build. You know what I'm saying? I've been fortunate to have met people, you know what I'm saying, that are doing exactly what I do, just on a higher level, and they're willing to answer questions, and and I appreciate that.
Collaboration is always key. Real talk.
Because I have things that they don't necessarily have access to, so one hand washes another. It's yeah, so it's cool, man. It's
I went to